PVC conduit, or polyvinyl chloride conduit, is permitted for indoor use in many electrical applications. It's a popular choice due to its resistance to corrosion, its lightweight nature, and its ease of installation. When considering using PVC conduit indoors, several factors come into play to ensure safety and compliance with electrical codes, such as the National Electrical Code. Firstly, understand the types of PVC conduit available. Schedule 40 and Schedule 80 are common types. Schedule 40 is suitable for general applications where physical protection requirements are not severe. Schedule 80 PVC conduit has a thicker wall, offering greater resistance to impact and crushing forces, making it suitable for locations where the conduit might be subject to physical damage. Secondly, consider the specific application. PVC conduit can be used in various indoor settings, including residential, commercial, and industrial buildings. It's commonly used to protect electrical conductors and cables in walls, floors, and ceilings. It's also suitable for exposed locations where the conduit is not subject to physical damage unless you use Schedule 80. Thirdly, follow all applicable electrical codes and standards. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed requirements for the installation of PVC conduit. These requirements cover aspects such as support spacing, bending radius, and proper fittings and connections. It's crucial to adhere to these codes to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Fourthly, use appropriate fittings and connectors. A wide range of fittings and connectors are available for PVC conduit, including couplings, elbows, tees, and adapters. These fittings are designed to create secure and watertight connections, protecting the conductors from moisture and physical damage. Ensure that you use fittings that are specifically listed for use with PVC conduit. Fifthly, pay attention to support spacing. PVC conduit must be properly supported to prevent sagging and physical damage. The NEC specifies the maximum support spacing for different sizes of PVC conduit. Generally, smaller sizes require closer support spacing than larger sizes. Use appropriate hangers, straps, or clamps to secure the conduit to the building structure. Sixthly, consider the temperature rating of the PVC conduit. PVC conduit has a maximum operating temperature, which is typically around 75 degrees Celsius or 167 degrees Fahrenheit. Ensure that the ambient temperature and the temperature of the conductors inside the conduit do not exceed this rating. If the conduit is exposed to high temperatures, consider using a different type of conduit with a higher temperature rating. Seventhly, be aware of the limitations of PVC conduit. While PVC conduit is suitable for many indoor applications, it's not suitable for all. It's not recommended for use in locations where it will be exposed to direct sunlight for extended periods, as ultraviolet radiation can degrade the material. It's also not suitable for use in hazardous locations where flammable gases or vapors are present, unless it's specifically listed for such use. Eighthly, properly ground the electrical system. When using PVC conduit, it's essential to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded. PVC conduit is a non-conductive material, so it does not provide a ground path. Therefore, a separate equipment grounding conductor must be installed inside the conduit to provide a path for fault current to return to the source. Ninthly, consider the ampacity of the conductors. When selecting conductors for use in PVC conduit, it's important to consider their ampacity, which is the maximum amount of current they can safely carry. The NEC provides ampacity tables that specify the allowable ampacities for different types of conductors in different installation conditions. Ensure that the conductors are properly sized for the intended load and that their ampacity is not exceeded. Tenthly, use proper bending techniques. PVC conduit can be bent to create custom angles and shapes. However, it's important to use proper bending techniques to avoid damaging the conduit. Use a conduit bender specifically designed for PVC conduit and follow the manufacturer's instructions. Avoid kinking or flattening the conduit, as this can reduce its strength and capacity. 11thly, inspect the installation. Once the PVC conduit installation is complete, inspect it carefully to ensure that all connections are tight, all supports are properly installed, and all conductors are properly sized and installed. Correct any deficiencies before energizing the electrical system. 12thly, consider future expansion. When planning an electrical installation, it's important to consider the possibility of future expansion. Leave some extra space in the conduit system to accommodate additional conductors or cables if needed. This can save time and money in the long run. 13thly, use PVC primer and cement properly. When joining sections of PVC conduit or attaching fittings, use PVC primer and cement specifically designed for this purpose. The primer softens the PVC material, allowing the cement to create a strong and watertight bond. Apply the primer and cement according to the manufacturer's instructions and allow sufficient drying time before handling the conduit. 14thly, protect the conduit during construction. During construction, PVC conduit can be vulnerable to damage from tools, equipment, and other materials. Protect the conduit by covering it with plywood or other protective materials. This will help prevent damage and ensure that the conduit remains in good condition. 15thly, consider the aesthetics. While PVC conduit is primarily a functional component of an electrical system, it's also important to consider its aesthetics, especially in exposed locations. Choose a color and finish that complements the surrounding environment and install the conduit neatly and professionally. 16thly, understand the difference between rigid PVC conduit and electrical non-metallic tubing or ENT. While both are types of non-metallic conduit, they have different applications and requirements. Rigid PVC conduit is generally used for more demanding applications, while ENT is more flexible and easier to install in tight spaces. 17thly, consult with a qualified electrician. If you are not comfortable working with electrical systems or if you have any questions about the installation of PVC conduit, consult with a qualified electrician. An electrician can provide valuable guidance and ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable codes and standards. 18thly, be aware of local amendments to the National Electrical Code. Local jurisdictions may have amendments to the NEC that affect the installation of PVC conduit. Be sure to check with your local building department to determine if there are any specific requirements in your area. 19thly, use proper labeling. Label all PVC conduit runs with the appropriate circuit identification. This will help prevent confusion and ensure that the electrical system can be easily maintained and repaired. 20thly, consider using colored PVC conduit. Colored PVC conduit can be used to identify different circuits or systems. This can be particularly useful in commercial and industrial buildings where there are multiple electrical systems. 21st, be mindful of static electricity. PVC conduit can accumulate static electricity, which can be a concern in certain applications. Consider using anti-static PVC conduit or taking other measures to reduce the risk of static discharge. 22nd, ensure proper drainage. In locations where moisture may accumulate inside the conduit, provide proper drainage to prevent water from damaging the conductors. This can be accomplished by installing drain fittings or by sloping the conduit slightly. 23rd, protect against physical damage. While Schedule 80 PVC conduit offers greater physical protection than Schedule 40, it's still important to protect the conduit from physical damage. Avoid running conduit in areas where it's likely to be struck by vehicles or equipment. 24th, consider the use of expansion fittings. In long conduit runs, expansion fittings may be required to accommodate thermal expansion and contraction. These fittings allow the conduit to expand and contract without putting stress on the connections or supports. 25th, be aware of the effects of chemicals. PVC conduit can be affected by certain chemicals. Avoid exposing the conduit to chemicals that are known to degrade PVC, such as strong solvents or acids. 26th, use proper conduit fill calculations. When selecting conductors for use in PVC conduit, it's important to perform proper conduit fill calculations to ensure that the conduit is not overcrowded. The NEC specifies the maximum allowable conduit fill for different sizes of conduit. 27th, consider the use of pull boxes. In long conduit runs or runs with multiple bends, pull boxes may be required to facilitate the pulling of conductors. These boxes provide access to the conduit run, making it easier to pull the conductors through. 28th, be aware of the limitations of flexible PVC conduit. While flexible PVC conduit can be useful in certain applications, it's not as strong or durable as rigid PVC conduit. Use flexible PVC conduit only in locations where flexibility is required and where the conduit is not subject to physical damage. 29th, consider the use of liquid-tight flexible metal conduit. In locations where flexibility and protection from moisture are required, consider using liquid-tight flexible metal conduit. This type of conduit provides a watertight seal and is more resistant to physical damage than flexible PVC conduit. 30th, be sure to ream the cut ends of the conduit. After cutting PVC conduit, be sure to ream the cut ends to remove any burrs or sharp edges. This will prevent damage to the conductors as they are pulled through the conduit. 31st, use a pulling lubricant. When pulling conductors through PVC conduit, use a pulling lubricant specifically designed for this purpose. This will reduce friction and make it easier to pull the conductors through. 32nd, avoid over-tightening fittings. When tightening fittings on PVC conduit, avoid over-tightening them. Over-tightening can damage the conduit or the fitting. Tighten the fittings only to the point where they are snug and secure. 33rd, consider the use of cable ties. Cable ties can be used to secure conductors inside PVC conduit. This can help prevent the conductors from shifting or becoming tangled. 34th, be aware of the weight of the conductors. When selecting supports for PVC conduit, be aware of the weight of the conductors that will be installed inside the conduit. The supports must be strong enough to support the weight of the conduit and the conductors. 35th, consider the use of strut. Strut can be used to support PVC conduit in a variety of applications. Strut is a versatile and strong material that can be used to create custom support systems. 36. Be sure to protect the conductors from sharp edges. When installing conductors in PVC conduit, be sure to protect them from sharp edges. Use bushings or other protective devices to prevent the conductors from being damaged. 37th. Consider the use of wire markers. Wire markers can be used to identify individual conductors inside PVC conduit. This can be helpful for troubleshooting and maintenance. 38th. Be aware of the potential for condensation. In locations where there is a significant temperature difference between the inside and outside of the conduit, condensation may form inside the conduit. This can damage the conductors and other electrical components. Take steps to prevent condensation, such as sealing the ends of the conduit or using a desiccant. 39th. Use proper grounding techniques. When grounding electrical equipment that is connected to PVC conduit, use proper grounding techniques. The equipment grounding conductor must be properly sized and connected to the grounding electrode system. 40th. Be sure to follow all manufacturer's instructions. When installing PVC conduit and fittings, be sure to follow all manufacturer's instructions. This will help ensure that the installation is safe and reliable. 41st. Consider the use of a vacuum. A vacuum can be used to pull conductors through PVC conduit. This can be particularly helpful in long conduit runs or runs with multiple bends. 42nd. Be aware of the potential for rodent damage. Rodents can damage PVC conduit and conductors. Take steps to protect the conduit from rodent damage, such as using rodent-resistant conduit or installing rodent barriers. 43rd. Consider the use of a fish tape. A fish tape can be used to pull conductors through PVC conduit. A fish tape is a flexible tool that can be easily inserted into the conduit. 44th. Be aware of the potential for corrosion. While PVC conduit is resistant to corrosion, it can still be affected by certain chemicals or environmental conditions. Take steps to protect the conduit from corrosion, such as using corrosion-resistant conduit or applying a protective coating. 45th. Consider the use of a heat gun. A heat gun can be used to bend PVC conduit. A heat gun applies heat to the conduit, making it more flexible and easier to bend. 46th. Be aware of the limitations of PVC conduit in cold weather. PVC conduit can become brittle in cold weather. Take steps to protect the conduit from damage in cold weather, such as using a heat gun to warm the conduit before bending it. 47th, consider the use of a pipe cutter. A pipe cutter can be used to cut PVC conduit. A pipe cutter provides a clean and accurate cut. 48th, be aware of the potential for electrical shock. When working with electrical systems, be aware of the potential for electrical shock. Always de-energize the circuit before working on it and use proper safety equipment. 49th, consider the use of a multimeter. A multimeter can be used to test electrical circuits. A multimeter can measure voltage, current, and resistance. 50th, be sure to inspect the installation regularly. Inspect the PVC conduit installation regularly to ensure that it is in good condition. Look for any signs of damage or deterioration.